before I caught the travel bug for Europe and Asia and stuff like that, I would go to Ross and just get the journals and, pile up, hoard them. And so I just created my own for what I actually wanted it to be. And that's She Writes. And I'm showing you these because I'm going to give away one of these right now. So listen for your trivia question. So She Writes is basically a giftable journal. So in the front of it, it has this journal belongs to, a gift for, she thinks, she thrives, she writes. And it's very, very regal. And I want to be able to gift someone one of these. But before I do that, I know we have some men on. So I also have the Mastermind Journal that I make, which is just the male version to She Writes. All right. So it is for the man that wants to write, wants to reflect. It's very masculine. It's matte. All right. And it is gifted to the man who thinks, who plans, and executes. So I have these 3 journals here, and I want to gift it to someone who can tell me, and you have to be quick, guys, because the question is going to come, and then you're going to say, but no, just like in school, I'm going to say, it's who said it first, right? So Glendina, Ma, are you there?
I'm here.
You're there. Okay. So this is your question. What is the first step to a passport to more for you experiencing more outside of the US?
You have to pre-order.
No, Ma. I want you to watch the chat. They are. Oh. I want you to watch the chat. They're putting that in the chat. So the first person to say, what is the first step to a passport to more for you getting more, for you to be able to go more outside of the US? You're going to win yourself. If you're a male, you get Mastermind. If you're a woman, you would get She Writes or Wonder Notes.
Tanisha says, get a passport.
No.
Alicia Bradshaw says to buy the ticket.
Well, Alicia Bradshaw, yeah, she very good. She won. Well, Nisha technically, but we were meeting in terms of what persons would have said. So the first step is definitely to book the trip. Nisha's laughing. You definitely have to book the trip because once you book the trip, you are going. You are definitely going. And so with that being said, in the ebook, I talk about 10 travel moves, 10 things that you must do on vacation. There are 10 signature rituals on every trip that my husband and I do, even the kids, wherever we travel. Sometimes you already booked the flight and you're thinking, okay, what do I do when I get there? And a lot of persons ask us this, like somebody told, we were at the Island House maybe last year, I think it was. And a gentleman went up to my husband and he was like, I see you guys, be traveling and stuff like that. But I don't want to go to Paris because what is to do in Paris, right? Tony was just going on about Paris. And we looked at each other like, what to do in Paris? And so we have these 10 travel moves that I talk about extensively in the ebook that says, give recommendations for what you can do. Like one of them is we have to visit places that are historic. I am into history, clearly. And so I talk about no matter where we go, we have to find out about the culture. We have, whether it's about a monument, whether we go and take a tour by the Eiffel Tower, you leave the place richer when you immerse yourself in history. And then, of course, Tony's more on the adventure side. So we will do something. I have a next signature move that I call it, that we go and we do something that makes us laugh, something that is new. So, for example, when we went to Cuba, we did a dance. Listen, we did a dancing class, Zumba. Maybe that was the name? It's Zumba. Salsa? Salsa is the name of it. Let me tell you, undefeated. If you want a good workout, if you want a good workout, please take up salsa, go to Cuba and take salsa lessons. You're going to come back about 20 pounds light, I promise you. So with that being said, I want to ask the ladies, I want to ask the panel, what are some of your travel moves? 2 or 3 things that you have to do when you go on vacation?
Well, for me, it's one, before actually getting there, I definitely do extensive research to know where I'm going, what to expect, where to get the good deals, where to hang, where to be in the local spots where you don't just feel touristy, but you basically get to experience a lot more at a cheaper price, mind you. So one of the things I definitely do is do something that I cannot do back home. Something I cannot do back home, and definitely something like a different experience. Like, for instance, when I went to Panama with my friend, we went whale watching. We were on a boat following whales for 2+ hours, and it's only extended during the periods of from I think July to October. I think what happens is the whales come in during that season to mate. So you see baby whales to mate during that period of time, and that's the only time it's offered. And so it's seeing these big, huge things that you never see, and they right next to you, and they so close. They could tip the boat over. It's a scary experience, but it was definitely something. So it's definitely doing something that I could not experience back home, and trying food, trying something new. Like I'm getting back here.
Oh my God, I could relate. I have a quote in the book that says, "Food is a love language that I always want to experience, always. And no matter what the country is, I want to try the local food." So I could agree with you. Thank you so much,
So
Jessica.
with
And you
that,
have to give me that whale watching
with that being said, definitely travel with your Dramamine and your gravel just in case.
just in case.
Just in case.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing. You want to go ahead, Ashley?
One of the main rituals that I do when I travel is I always write a letter to myself. So I like to date it and I like to tell myself how old I am and where I am in the world and what I'm feeling and where I want to go next. And honestly, I hope that when I get married and have kids, I can give them that. And so they'll see how cool their mother was when she was younger, and still is, hopefully, when I get that age. And another thing that I liked that I did in Colombia that I want to start doing as I travel more is the cooking class. I think that was so interesting to learn how they prepare local foods. So that's something that I will do going forward. And honestly, on all trips, I just like to have free time too, at least half a day of free time so I can just free flow. I like to plan, but sometimes I just also like to leave time and space because I feel like when you go to countries and you talk with locals, you get a lot more recommendations that you should try that you wouldn't have known about maybe from TikTok or from Google. And so having that free time to just experience more of the culture from a local standpoint is always good to me.
Awesome. I love it. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Muff, could you read some of those things off for me, please?
Dexter says, a letter, that's what's up. And then, of course, eating a local dish is something that Ashley mentioned. And Stanley said, trying the native food as well. So those are some of the things that the persons in the chat, they express enjoying when they travel.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. And just before we let Brandi share, Ashley Stewart is on. She got one of the travel journals as well. She's in Canada. Ashley Ferguson, you got a Wonder Notes travel journal. Could you just tell the guests a little bit about that? Seeing that you're a writer, I didn't know that. So guess what? You getting that was prophetic because you're
Yes,
gonna be.
it was. So I actually looked through it today because I haven't had an opportunity since I got it a few days ago. And I saw that the flight details and everything was in there. And I love that, first of all, because me and my partner, we're currently planning a trip to Vietnam coming up in a few weeks. And I am the person that needs to plan everything down to a T when it comes to traveling that far. And he is not as much of a planner as I am. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This is perfect. I'm going to make sure I have that on hand so he can look through that and it can make it a seamless process. And then I also do love that the book has free pages for just journaling thoughts, which I think is really good. It's kind of silly to think about it, but I feel like that's the closest we get to God physically. And I always feel a lot more reflective on planes as well, on flights. So I'm very happy that the journal has free pages that I can just allow my thoughts to roam on page.
Thank you, Ashley, for that insight. And that is exactly why I created Sorry, She Writes, because the Wonder Notes is perfect. It's definitely for the traveler. And you know who I thought about? I thought about the student. I thought about it as a gift because we have 3 kids, and I'm always in my mind. I'm a creative by nature, right? And I always think about what would I want, and so I just create based on that. And I said, what about the traveler, like taking that gap year that wants to go backpacking around Europe? Like, can you imagine what that journal would look like when that comes home? Kings have done it, Christopher Columbus and all those. We know those stories because they wrote down. A lot of times, like now we're in the age of content creation where we could go ahead and we could make the reels and we could make the TikToks and all like that. But before then, it was just the written word. And so I love the written word because I think it's so expressive and authentic. And like I said, it causes you to slow down. And so she writes in Wonder Notes, they're my babies. I use them. I love them on every trip. And even during planning, you have to write down. You can't keep everything in your mind, obviously. So, I think that's also a step. The first step, I believe in the scripture in Habakkuk that says, write the vision and make it plain. If there's somewhere that you want to go that is not without your reach, you've seen on the slides, you've heard Bahamians speak that, you're able to get on a flight, but you have to be intentional. It's not going to drop out of the sky. You have to want it. I don't remember the name of the person who said it, but it said the starting point of all achievement is desire. You have to want it. You have to literally say that I want to travel. I want to go there. And like Jessica said, Brandi, Ashley, you're gonna get there. As long as you book that trip, step one. Step two, you're gonna be in those people's country. Okay, so we're gonna ask Brandi, what are some of your signature travel moves, Brandi?
One of my signature travel moves is that when I'm in country, I have to do a physical activity unique to that country. For example, in Dubai, I went sandboarding, unique to the country. In Thailand, I rode on an elephant, unique to the country. I just came from the US. I went to Colorado. We did skiing, which was very difficult, but unique to the state. Everywhere we travel, we try to do a physical activity unique to the country, and we document those experiences and post them on our TikToks. So that's one thing that we do. Another thing we do is meet people. Meet people. Do not be afraid to communicate with others. Especially when you're going on your excursions or you're in a different country, and even if that person isn't from that country that you're in, communicate with them, talk to them, find out which country they're from, because you don't know who you're going to meet. For example, on my snowboarding excursion, we met a lady in Dubai, and she is from Hawaii, and she also is a travel influencer, and she also does excursions in Hawaii. So I told her, I said, well, can we trade contacts? Because you can come to the Bahamas or the Turks and Caicos, because I'm currently in the Turks and Caicos, but you can come to the Bahamas or the Turks and Caicos, and I will show you around. And I will come to Hawaii, and you can show me around. So make communications, make efforts to get contacts, make friends.
Awesome.
I also want to add something there. So a few years ago when I was in Guatemala, I met a girl around my age and we really hit it off. We were in Guatemala, we got matching theme tattoos. And then a few months after that, I flew to London and I stayed with her for the weekend. And I really do agree with that point too. When you're in a country, speak up, show yourself friendly to the appropriate people. You be wise, but don't be afraid to network. Don't be afraid to communicate with people, because you really don't know how that relationship can blossom, because we're still friends to this day. And that happened 3 years ago.
That's awesome, Ashley, Brandi. I mean, I'm going to tell you that I could definitely relate to what you guys are saying, because everywhere we go, we join each other's Instagram and TikTok and all this kind of stuff. And up to this day, we get to follow each other because of the mere fact that you get to know, when you go and you get international contacts. And before long, you realize that, oh my God, I have this amazing database of persons internationally that I didn't set out to do, but they're real, genuine connections. And sometimes it's not even the persons who are tourists. Sometimes, like we stayed with Barbara in the Airbnb in Cuba. She was like a mother to us, so I get that. Like, you really have to open up your mouth and make connections, because you never know, they're going to be lifelong. They're going to be lifelong friends. And so, Ashley, I want you to, Ashley Stroud, could you just type inside of the chat your experience with Wonder Notes? Please, you could type so other persons can read it. Jessica, you wanted to share?
Yeah, while she does that, I'll just say same here occurred in Cuba as well. We actually met a girl who's solo traveling, and she's from Singapore on one of our excursions, and we hung out during the excursion because, sometimes excursions are very long, but by the end of the excursions, we were friends. And she lives in Singapore and she's in the medical field. And someday I'm going to end up there and someday she's going to end up here. But we share a lot of travel experiences and a lot of travel recommendations. So connecting with people, and it actually makes you very comfortable, because she was solo traveling and she met my friend, and then we were able to do a lot of other things together, and it was a lot more fun.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'm telling you. And Bohemians are loved. I talk about in the book how we are loved all around the world. You know, on our on TikTok, you saw where we were interacting with my brother Stefan is on. And Stefan, we were just randomly sitting in the restaurant in China. And, you know, and I'm sure all of you have had this experience. And the Chinese little kids were just like, they found him to be so amazing because like he had his hair in the little curls and you know how our hair is kind of coily. And so they were just the women as well. They were very, very fascinated by him. And so you see them kind of being slick, like I want to take a picture, but I don't know how they're gonna receive me. So let me do it sly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so they finally built up the courage to come to him and to ask if they could take like pictures and get interactions and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful experience when you connect with people. Mind you, they knew very, very small amounts of English, but what they could articulate, they were able to just have that connection. So travel is something they say travel is the one thing that makes you richer, and there's no truer quote. Let's get into some romance. What is travel? This is from Brandi. In Passport Tomorrow, the ebook, which is, just a book that over the course of our travels, I just compile everything in it, tools and stories and all that kind of stuff. But I say there's a version of you that only exists when you're rested, romance, and fully seen. And Brandi, I want to ask, and I really believe that travel creates the kind of space where couples get to see each other all over again, outside of routine, outside of roles. And it really reconnects them. When you're away, just the two of you, does your relationship feel different? Do you experience each other differently than when you are at home?
If my husband was here, he would scream absolutely yes, because he always tells me he wish he could be on vacation all the time. If he could have his wife to himself like this all the time. But yes, definitely the romance is different. We're not in the hustle and bustle of work, the work environment. So we have enough time to connect and enjoy what we both love to do. We both love to travel. We both are adventurous. We both are into history. So we get to enjoy each other while enjoying those experiences. So most definitely, most definitely, us traveling together as a couple, we get to experience a better romantic lifestyle.
Awesome. Jessica, you're smiling. Do you agree? Is it the same? Do you have the same sentiments with hubby?
Okay, so remember I said I was in a long distance relationship with hubby, because he was off to school. So most times we traveled between the states. So last year, for his 30th, I surprised him with a trip to Mexico. He didn't know we were going to Mexico. He just thought we were going to, I think I told him Atlanta. When we got to the airport and we scanned and he looked at the screen, he was like, hold on, we're going to Cancun? And it was such a really good experience. So he was really surprised, and we got down there, like, even coming down in the plane, seeing the different environment, he was just smiling and bubbly, like it was really something for him. And he mentioned that, the atmosphere feels different. Like I can relax here, like, and he got the travel bug. And listen, I love it. I love it for me here because we can be on your side of the world. We can be there.
Right. I love it. I love it. And so my husband is burning to say something. And so I'm going to unmute your mic, Big, and I want you to answer the same question. What does travel do for a couple, especially whether you're a newly wed, whether you're in a relationship? What does travel do for couples? Or rather, what has travel done for you?
Do you want the PG? Do you want the PG-13 version, or you want
the PG-13? Yes.
We want the wrong cut version. Travel, it automatically. I think from you hit the airport, it stimulates your body. Like from you get in the airport, like this it's going down. This trip is going to be like just freedom. It's just like I think it's just like she said, it's just taken away from everything going on, the hustle and the bustle and all the other things. Like people have to realize everything is mental. Everything is in your mind first. So like when your mind is clear and you ain't worrying about this and you ain't worrying about that, I mean you get the focus on your next partner. You know what I mean? Like you get the focus on pleasing your partner. You can't focus on pleasing your partner. This one calling, this one, this, that, and whatever. Too much this and too much that. So when you're away from all that, then your focus is just on the trip and the person with you. So that's my PG-13 version.
That's the PG-13 version.
PG-13
Love it.
version.
And
Yeah,
Brandi,
and no kids, no kids, no kids, no kids.
and Brandi, like your husband said, he often says, especially when we were on the cruise, on the European cruise, he said, baby, I have to take you on vacations all the time. I have to take you on vacations all the time.
Yes, that's my husband. That's the PG-13 version. He has to take me on vacations all the time. He absolutely loves it.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's both partners. It's just not the husband, you know. It's just like the stress on the wife is also at a minimum. I feel it's relatable. Like I relating to what your husband saying and all that, and I relating with you. Like it's just relatable. Like, and it's just so funny that the color our skin is and the other color skin, it's all the same because we meet couples like when we go to dinner and we talking and they be like, you know, and they'll be like, yeah, no kids and we away from the kids and like I be like, so other people experiencing this, so like it's. That's serious. That's serious.
Yes, I totally agree.
But in that same vein with the kids, but Brandi, you travel with your children. So what do you say to the Bahamian that is on that wants to say, what are some of the benefits that you see with traveling with your daughter? How is she different? What are the benefits of travel for her?
Well, she's 3 now, but she absolutely loves it. Anytime that she sees an airplane, she says, "Mom, look, are we going?" Like she is ecstatic. She loves to travel. Sometimes I feel I hope that she remembers these things. I don't know if she will, but I mean there will be photos around for her to reminisce on. But her living in the moment of being there
Right.
always just touches my heart because she seems so excited, so happy, and understanding of what's going on in her surroundings that like I'm I can't even bring out the words. Like it
I
brings me to
will.
tears, but she seems so understanding and so and she's my daughter is so grateful for everything. She will tell you thank you for just telling her hi. Like she's so grateful for everything. And I love that about her. And I love seeing her grow in travel. She loves to travel as well. So taking her to see these different places, to taste these different foods and cultures. Like I have this photo of her in Italy. I also have a video where we're at this restaurant and she watched this on Minnie Mouse where Minnie took the spaghetti and put it in her mouth and then she put the next piece in my mouth. She's like, "Mom, come on. We have to do the spaghetti thing from Lady and the Tramp." But she saw it on Minnie Mouse. And could you imagine my 2-year-old is telling me to put the spaghetti in my mouth from her mouth so that we can kiss. So yeah, I mean it was just it's always just a touching experience. And the in one of the photos, the server, he picked her up and he started singing an Italian song and she's dancing with him. And listen, those memories will be with me forever. And she totally loves it. And I'm going to show her everything. So when she gets older, she can see you did that. You were there.
You were there. I love it, Brandi. And also in the ebook as well, it has a lot of photos. So I think it was important for us to have representation. But when we think about travel, we don't think about our own people. We see persons in magazines and, it looks like as if it is just reserved for the rich or the elite. And so what I wanted to do with the ebook, I wanted to make it photo rich so that persons could have representation. It shows us, with our kids in Canada having a picnic. It shows us by the CN Tower, and it also has print and go itineraries for the person that doesn't feel that, okay, I feel confident enough to just go out of the country. So it has all those things laid out for you that you could literally just print it and go. And that was one of the gifts that I wanted to give to my Bahamians, that listen, you don't have to have everything figured out. There's a direct flight from here to Canada. That's all you need to know. Start here. And so I really wanted to give that to my Bahamian people. I wanted to give them representation. I wanted them to say, that, listen, the literature does not support, or the representation doesn't always show us. We don't always see ourselves. So I wanted to do that so they could say, okay, if they could do it, I could do it too. They're regular Bahamians. So if they could do it, it has to be something that is achievable. All right. And so that was one of the reasons why I really, really wanted to create this ebook. And it's about 2 years in the making. And so when Brandi said that about her baby, it really brought back so many memories, because we watched our children in Canada just having themselves a ball. And I write in the book that we used to spend money on the most expensive vacation ever, the one with the airs. Yeah, we would go there, and they complained. The first time we took them there, they complained the entire day. And Tony and I were like, what? Like, are you serious? We're to Disney. It's the happiest place on earth. And the boys did not like it. They were 4 and 6. And from then I wrote in the book that we just decided we're only going to take meaningful vacations. And so I love. I think I poured my heart and my soul into the ebook, because I feel like it goes from anything from intimacy with your partner, when you're out of country, when it comes to the print and go itineraries, when it comes to the cost breakdown of a trip, every possible thing that you could think of is in that ebook. So it was a gift to the person that says, I want to go, but I don't know where to start, And so I really, really did my big one there for my Bohemian people. And I just hope that they receive it with the love and with just all of the stories, and just, yeah, I just really hope that it is received well. So with that being said, the next, I want, Muff, could you tell us what's going on in the chat, please? Before we're going to close soon, guys, and then we're going to get to some questions, okay? And another giveaway.
Yeah, so Ashley said to everyone, Ashley Stewart, she says, I mentioned earlier, this book makes me want to travel even more. I love to draw and write. So when I saw the doodle section, the mini language guide was super thoughtful, and it really is heightened. So that's from Ashley Stewart. And also Ashley talked about being really adventurous back then. And then someone said, Jessica said, Ashley, a whole tattoo? When she told the story about how she got the matching tattoo with her travel partner. And also Dexter says, yes, write the vision. You talked about writing the vision and making it plain. He's also agreeing with that as well. So some really great feedback in the comment section, and everyone's just enjoying this conversation. Back to you, Dee.
Awesome. Thank you, Glendina. All right, guys. So we're going to go to a next giveaway. And this giveaway, Muff, could you please keep track of the person so that we can get their gifts to them? All right. So this one is a trivia. This one is a trivia. And it's who types it first, guys? Who types it first? Who types it first? And it has to be correct. How many countries are there in the world?
Jessica Mark says 194. Erinique Lightborn says 195.
Okay, now that's
right. So we see Arisha saying 198. Stanley says 195. Raquel says 195. Cathonia says 195. Ernestine says 256. And Ashley Stewart says 195. So the first responses were Jessica Mark at 194 and Erinique at 195. And 195 again from Dexter. So is it 194 or is it 195?
Dexter said 195.
Dexter says 195. Erinique says 195 as well. She clocked
it 195 first.
Erinique did.
Erinique said 195. Erinique is the winner. It's 195. Now, one, congratulations, Erin. Now, it's funny, guys, because we would have even taken 193, because technically there's two little countries. There's Vatican City that is in Italy that is considered a country. It's in one little box, but technically they consider it a country, and also Palestine. So we have to take the 195. If you had 193, then that would have been argumentative. So we'll take the 195. So congratulations, Erin. Awesome.